everybody, Mary Grace Wallace, one of the genealogists with Family Tree Nuts. Hey, I'm really excited to bring what I'm about to tell you out to you guys because it's a little unusual for Cheyenne. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming, Laramie County. I'm at Lakeview Cemetery, about 2.5 miles from the center of Cheyenne. Where I'm standing is actually at a Confederate soldier's gravesite. His name is John C. Hutton. He was born in Madison County, Virginia, January 18, 1839. And he actually died here in Wyoming, September 4th, 1928. He came out to Wyoming after serving in the Civil War. He was in the 7th Infantry, and he came out to Wyoming just to relax. He came out to Wyoming to be a cattle rancher, and that's just what he did. He was an expert on Indian warfare. And he ended up being the first president of the Wyoming Pioneer Association. But for a really long time, up until 2010, in fact, actually, he only had a very small marker. The marker actually only had his initials on it, JH. In 2010, the United Daughters of the Confederacy actually added the marker that now bears his name and the Company A, 7th Virginia Infantry, CSA. And in later years, he was called Colonel Hutton, though he was not a colonel in the infantry. And so I just wanted to bring this to you. I was out here and one of the head of the cemetery came out and brought this to my attention that he is the only Confederate soldier in here. I could do stories all day here because there's many amazing people and just many people in the cemetery that deserve their stories told. But I wanted to tell you guys about Colonel Hutton and show you his gravesite. It's right behind me. And here's his marker that the Daughters of the Confederacy actually brought to him. And here is his original headstone that just says JH. And you're gonna notice that there's a Confederate flag here. A young man from Tennessee comes out here and takes care of this headstone and takes care of this area and just makes sure that nobody comes out and disrespects. We just wanna bring this John C. Hutton to you. Again, Mary Grace Wallace and Family Tree Nuts. Let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.
Like what you see? Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the little bell so you get notifications as to when we post new videos. And you can find out more about us and contact us at familytreenuts.org.
Hi, good evening. Hi, Sue.
Hey, Mary Grace. How's it going tonight?
It's going really well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to learn about Nevada.
Yes, Nevada. What a place. Have you been? Have you been to Nevada?
Have not. No, we keep covering all the states I've not been to. That's okay.
That's well, that gives you something to learn, and maybe some places that you need to check off your wish list. Some places to go.
Agree, absolutely.
So I've been to Nevada. I've been to Nevada actually several times. It's a little closer to me than it is to you, I suppose, though, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, much closer.
Yeah. So, and one of the things that I wanted before we dive into Nevada, one of the things that I wanted to say about all of the states in the union is each state has such a vast history, and there are so many things that are going to be interesting to you and to me and to everybody else. And we can't even begin to cover everything or every detail, and we just are picking out things, right, that we think are maybe interesting to you guys. And but we want your feedback, and we want to hear what you guys want to hear about, and we want to know if there's things you want us to cover or specific things on states that we haven't covered yet. Tell us. I'm interested. I want to know, and I want to know what you want to hear about, right? Would you agree, Sue?
I would absolutely agree. Yeah, I want to talk about things that are interesting to us, and everyone out there, send us your questions. I think that it makes for great conversation. And if there's things that you know about the state, send us your comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We certainly don't know everything, and but we try to learn as much as we can, right? We want to cover as much as we can, but in 45 minutes, there's only so much we can cover about these amazing places. And so we do our best, and and we want to have fun with it. So, and having said that, we'd love to hear, who's with us and where you're from. And so I see that Dawn is here. Hi, Dawn. And he's saying hi. And Bev,
hey,
hi.
Dawn. Yeah.
And
hey, Bev.
Yeah.
She's up in Manitoba.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Right. She's learning all of her U.S. history from us. Imagine.
Oh no, we won't. Bev, we won't quiz you on it. Don't worry, we won't quiz you on it.
Right? Or maybe we will. Yeah. So, when I was just recently, actually, well, I think we should quiz Bev on it. You don't think we should quiz Bev on her U.S. history? We'll see if she agrees later.
Maybe not right off. We'll make a. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll make them easy to start with, multiple choice.
Right. Well, here.
Right.
Can you guess who was first to arrive in Nevada?
I would think Native Americans were originally there, and then first to actually arrive out of, I would say, the Spanish in that area.
That's, I would say that the Pacific Northwest and some of those Midwestern states have a lot of the same sort of story.
Exactly.
Yep,
Right.
the Spanish in the 1700s. Yep, Native Americans first, and then the Spanish, and then a lot of those the lower states were acquired through the Mexican-American War, and Nevada was one of them. Right. So, and that was about 1848.
1848, right? Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So as we're doing some of these states, Washington and Oregon and Nevada, and what else have we done? Oh, and Montana. A lot of those states have a lot of the same general sort of beginning, I would say, which is, I guess, would be common for this area. But Nevada started out, and it was part of the Utah territory and the Arizona territory originally, and it didn't become a state until it has an interesting name, and it became a state in an interesting way.
I actually think this is cool, so I actually do know this. It's the one of its nicknames is the Battle-Born State. So it became a state right before the elections of 1864. So it's the 36th state. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And the way that it came about, I think, is really cool too. The way they actually got all of the state constitution to where it needed to be to make it official is really a neat story too.
Right. And so how familiar, actually West Virginia is the only other state that became a state at about the same time under the same circumstances during the Civil War.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So, and then did you know that many people believe that Nevada was illegally admitted to the Union? And why? Not that it would matter today, because
no, but I think just like today we have some political differences of opinions on a lot of things. I think there was difference of the number of people in the state. Am I remembering that right?
Yes.
Like were there enough people
Right.
sufficiently to become a state? Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that would be controversial
there needed
today
to be a
if they was
minimum.
trying to push something through.
Right. So there needed to be a minimum of 60,000 people. And the claim is that there was only 36,000 people, and it was done to help reelect Lincoln. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we know obviously it did. So yeah, it's I think 3 electoral votes at the time or something.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think he needed them per se, but it helped.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, but it was a big deal. That was a big deal back then. Right. So I think it's pretty interesting.
Right.
I like the whole battle-born. I think that's pretty interesting. Sorry, I had a dog go underneath my feet.
Yeah. He wants to join in.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? Yeah. Well, and then Nevada had another big contribution to the Civil War. Do we know what that is? Because it has another nickname, the Silver State.
The Silver State. I think that has, pretty sure that has something to do with the Comstock lode and the discovery of silver. And the money that they pulled out of it to help support the Union.
Right. And what is so interesting about that is that the Nevada is so far north, and then we don't really associate a lot of, or excuse me, it's so far west. Sorry, we're talking Union, north and south, and then I said north, but it's so far west, we don't usually associate all of these western states with the Civil War.
Right.
I don't know if you can hear me, Sue.
I'm not sure if you can hear. Oh, am I back?
There you are.
All right. I'm not sure how good the signal is, so kind of sketchy there. That's part of it.
Yeah, well, we're live, and that's what happens. I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, the Western states were not always so associated, but Nevada just played such a big role in the Civil Wars. That's what I was trying to get at with. I know, Sue.
I think my internet's sketchy. Yeah.
There you are. I got you, Sue. You're in. I can hear you.
I can
hear you.
Okay. I think audio.
Yep.
Okay, let's go with audio.
There we go. I got you. I can
All
see
right.
you. So there were Confederate sympathizers in Nevada.
Not something you would think of. That's pretty interesting.
No, not
I didn't
necessarily.
know that.
But they were not unheard of during that time. In fact, in the Pacific Coast states, there none really had more Southern supporters than Nevada. It's kind of interesting.
That is interesting. Right. Can you hear me?
I can. Yep, you're fine. Your audio's fine.
Okay. Well, we'll go with that. Good deal.
Yeah. So we'll just carry on here. Anyway, so that's kind of the whole battle-born scenario and the Silver State for Nevada, which I really like. That's such a great story. Their connection to the Civil War and to Lincoln, and because Nevada is known for so many other things. I think when most people think of Nevada, they think of Las Vegas, and gambling are the first things that come to mind. I know, what comes to mind for you when you think of Nevada?
I think of more the Sierra Nevada, the mountains. I certainly don't think of Civil War. Definitely not the first on my list of things. The mining, Comstock. I think everybody in Nevada would probably, I'm kind of advancing really quickly here, like Area 51. Let's get a little bit closer to our time frame. That kind of, but
Yeah.
not the Civil War though. So interesting.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I think,
So that's kind of, so it's kind
yeah.
of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nevada, since you kind of mentioned it, Nevada's kind of a little open. They have legalized gambling. They're pretty lenient on their marriage and their divorce laws, which
Yeah,
I don't know
think
any
it's
other
kinda
states that are.
Right. I think it's interesting. I think the same year that they legalized gambling, which was to help with the Great Depression, was also about the time that they had all the women coming in for divorces into. So they legalized divorce and gambling about the same time.
Right.
Which obviously was huge. Yeah.
And not to mention that prostitution is legal in Nevada.
There is that too.
Right.
There's a lot of people, I guess, that, travel to Nevada for various reasons.
Right. So, but let's talk about something a little better, like Area 51, since you brought it up.
Okay, let's do that.
The more common name, Area 51, but it's I actually drove past there just not too long ago. And have you ever tried to find Area 51 on a Google map? Have anybody tried to find Area 51 on a Google map?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't.
Right.
I have never specifically searched for it, but I would think you can't.
Right, you can't. It's highly classified. And it's actually Area 51 is what we all call it, and it's a remote detachment of the Edwards Air Force Base, but it's officially called the Homey Airport or Groom Lake, which, to be honest with you, I actually didn't know that until I really started researching Area 51. So I'll be honest, I didn't know the official names for it. So I had heard it be called it has several names: Dreamland Ranch and Paradise, and there's several unofficial names for it, but I had heard those, but I didn't know like the official names for it. But even at that, if you search them up on Google Maps, you can't see them, or the satellite images of you can see images that have been released if you go to images on like Google, but
the unclassified images, which all of that stealth and cloaking of it just lends to all of the stories and controversy that makes up Area 51 too. So if you don't know about something, people are going to make stories up.
Right. All the rumors and all the UFO rumors, alien rumors.
Right.
Those are the first things I've ever heard about Area 51. What about you?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see. So Dawn says that it's blurred. So you guys could do that right now. You guys could look for Area 51 right now if you wanted. And Bev says she's never tried searching for Area 51. Yeah. If you Google mapped and tried to find directions to Area 51, you wouldn't be able to do it.
When we're done, that's what, I think that's what I'm going to do when I get off here. I'm going to, just to make sure, I'm going to take a look.
Just to check. I'm just going to check, just to see. But Area 51, I think it is a big mystery. Everybody wants to know what's in Area 51 just because it is so highly classified. But we do know that it was built in 1955 by the Air Force. We do know it's run by the CIA. We do know that there's a lot of UFO folklore around it. We know that the first stealth bomber was built there. We do know that they do test aircraft there. I mean, I guess we don't know, but I mean, we know what they've told us.
Right.
What do you
The
think you
official,
know about Area 51?
I think pretty much what you just said, you know, the stealth bomber, the different cloaking abilities, the different planes, and the top secret development of those would have come out of there. That would have been the top thing that I mean, you think about that, and then kind of in that general area as well, the nuclear testing as well. So those would be the top things when I think about Nevada, Area 51, the actual Air Force Base would come to mind.
Right. Right. And the name, you know, the name Area 51 was thought to have come from a document that was handed around during the Vietnam War era, excuse me. And there's no mention of what that document was or why it was referred to as Area 51. But however, and whomever you know, did that, it was sure catchy, and that's what it stayed is Area 51. And the movies that have come out about it, and there's so many that support all the conspiracy theories about it, which are, you know, most of them fun and funny, but definitely support the conspiracy theories. And I know that the airspace that's around Area 51 is referred to as the restricted area 4808 North. I don't know why. I don't fly that area, but I know that that's what that's referred to. And the area, all the area around the lake is off limits to civilians and to regular military. So you have to have special clearance to get into Area 51 and around the lake, which also adds to its mystique. Yeah.
Sure. That's
yeah.
right.
So that's definitely a bucket list.
Yeah.
Gotta visit Area 51.
I'll go there and see as much as I. Absolutely. What do you see? It's kind of like
so
coming
Joshua
to Fort Knox
Clayton
in Kentucky.
says, right? Yeah, right. Joshua Clayton says, we are not alone. So Area 51 believed to be housing aliens.
He
They probably
are.
are.
He could be right. He could be right. I think they probably are too. Yeah, that's my guess. That's my take on it.
Yeah, we don't know, do we? Yeah.
No.
Another big thing that comes to mind when we talk about Nevada is Hoover Dam.
Definitely.
And I've actually
Hoover
been
Dam
there.
I've always wanted to go. I mean, Nevada has a lot of places I want to see, but that's definitely the place I would make sure I go because of just the enormity of it.
Right.
It's so impressive. Mm-hmm.
And the architecture is amazing, and you have to go on the dam tour. The dam tour is fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's just fun to say.
And
to take the dam tour. That just would be fun to say.
Yeah,
awesome.
You got to go take the dam tour. It's totally worth it.
Awesome.
And what is the what is that movie? Oh, Vegas Vacation, where they take the dam tour, and
sure.
I can't remember what. I think he's putting bubble gum in the wall to try to stop all the leaks, but yeah, that's
hilarious.
That's
hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway, Hoover Dam, that is quite a place to see, and totally worth totally worth going to. And that, I didn't realize that is the birthplace of actually the construction hat. The construction
Yes,
workers.
actually, the hard hat. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one weird fact I didn't know. I think that's pretty cool. No, the construction hat came about because of safety for Hoover Dam when they were building it. I think that is so
Yeah,
cool.
I had no idea. That is really cool because that is quite the construction, and there's quite a crew of people. They had Native Americans working on that. There were Italians working on that. They pulled in all kinds of different ethnicities to work on the Hoover Dam, and yeah, and it was originally called Boulder Dam, and it's near Boulder City. It's just outside of Las Vegas, and yeah, so it's got a lot of fire ants, let me tell you, and they hurt. So don't wear sandals. As somebody who only ever wears sandals, don't wear sandals. That's my tip. If you ever go to Hoover Dam, don't wear sandals, wear socks and shoes, and don't stand still if you're outside.
Very, very good to know. Yes, we have fire ants here. Yeah, you don't want an encounter with fire ants, so good to know.
Yeah, that's something I've never come across before and had no idea about. So.
Oh, they're evil. Yeah, they're evil. Yeah. So.
Well, lesson learned. But so the Hoover Dam was built along the Colorado River, and that was I'm trying to think. That was built within 3 years, 1933 to 1936. It took to build that dam. And though one of the questions that everybody asks are how many men are buried within the dam. Nobody is buried in the dam while it was being built. But there were tragically many deaths, like 112 people died building the dam. I found that interesting, that the question, how many people are buried in the dam, that's a question that people ask about the Diablo Dam here too. I don't know, a morbid question people want to know, I guess. Bev says, Family Tree Nuts has me wanting to do a lot of traveling. Yes, Bev, travel. It's so much fun.
Travel.
Do it.
Travel often, yes.
Yes. So Hoover Dam actually creates Lake Mead. And Lake Mead is really a really pretty lake. If you can Google Lake Mead, that's a really neat place. And the Colorado River too, actually, is really pretty. I've been fortunate enough to be able to experience all of those things. You know, there's a statue at Hoover Dam that is meant to tell the time and the place for people of the future, that when Hoover Dam was built. And it's like I can't think of what it's called, like the sun catcher. What am I trying to think of? I can't think of what those are called. Now I'll have to look it up. I can't think of what they're called, but there's a really cool statue at Hoover Dam. But it's for people of the future to tell what date and time the Hoover Dam was built.
Oh, that's pretty well.
You have to look it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's huge.
Yeah. After I Google Area 51, I'll look that up.
Yes, do look it up. I just remembered that because that was really pretty. That was really something to see. Yeah. Right along the Hoover Dam. But yeah, I think, and you don't even have to take the dam tour to see it. I don't know. Oh. Oh, anyway. So moving from the dam tour, although, one of the things that I read about the Hoover Dam was that it is one of the largest well, is it hydroelectric? It's one of the largest structural volume pieces, bigger than the pyramids in Egypt by
Wow.
structural volume. So
by structural volume, right. That's pretty massive. That's extremely massive. All right. Okay. I feel like worse last night. I've now lost volume with you. I don't know who, Jordan, who can you hear? Can you hear me, Mary Grace? Okay.
Hey, Sue, it's Jordan
One of us
here. I
is
think
muted.
Mary Grace has herself muted on
Okay.
her end, so if she's having any technical
All right.
problems, yeah, I
She's having
cannot
some,
unmute her, unfortunately, on my end.
she has to do it on her end. That's okay. All right. So we have me to chat for a minute then. So if we just chat about Hoover Dam, which I think is pretty cool too, one of the reasons that it was built was because of the Depression. It was one of the largest public works ever in the United States, and it still is that. Now, you know, one of these days I'm going to make it out there to be able to see that. So, well, we have.
can you hear me now?
We have video. Oh, yay! Now we have audio. Yay! There we go.
Yeah,
you gotta love live. Like Russ says, you gotta love a live show. It's just so much fun.
Oh, it started
never know what's
glitching, and
gonna
then
happen.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, hopefully I have hopefully I have volume. I don't know what happened there. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
I can
Anyway,
hear you.
I'm
So
back.
yeah, we're good. Awesome.
Okay,
Awesome.
good. Well,
Yeah.
we've
So
kind of jumped all over the place, but yeah, we've kind of gone into more modern things in Nevada, and
right.
yeah.
I think there's
So
probably We're gonna back up a little bit then.
yeah, maybe we should back up a little bit and kind of see where and how Nevada even came about. we jumped into aliens and into the Hoover Dam, which are both great attractions. And you know, the Hoover Dam brings like 1 million tourists a year, so it's a big deal. And so why wouldn't we talk about that? But
yeah, exactly.
yeah, right. So, and you know, this just, our conversation flows as it flows, but we definitely want to talk about how Nevada came into play. And there's a few places that were sort of big, and one of those was the Mormon station. Has anybody heard of? Yeah, and the
I think it's Go ahead.
Well, so there's a couple. We like to talk over the top of each other, huh? No, it's fine. There's like a delay, so we do that.
Right. I'm gonna let you go.
Go ahead, Sue. Okay, I'll go with it. I'm going with it. I'm gonna go. We'll get it. So the Mormon station was Nevada's first permanent white settlement, and it speaks for itself. It was settled by the Mormons, and what it's one of the first. It's one of the oldest, and it is sent. It was Brigham Young, right, that sent out the Mormons to educate and bring in the Native Americans. That was the original plan. And what else do you know about the Mormon station? It eventually changed its name to Genoa.
Right. I knew that. I knew it was, I think, modern day Genoa. Yeah. I think they have a pretty cool historical park there that talks about the history
They
of
do.
it still. Hmm.
Right. And they
Yeah, I
still
think
house
yeah,
the oldest building in Nevada, which is still standing. And that
that's
was,
amazing.
yeah, it was built to be um, a trading post along the California Trail. And it really took off after the gold rush.
Certainly. Certainly.
Right. And you could, at first, it didn't have a roof. So it was just four walls. And then after the gold
Wow.
rush, yeah. So, and it's still standing in Genoa. And so after the gold rush, a man, I think of his name, a man named John Reese came in, and he had cattle and he had wagons and he had horses, and he came in with supplies and he put a roof on it. And so this was in 1850. And this after the roof, this place exploded along the California Trail, and he ended up building a post office. Other people came in, realized that this was a popular stop. This was a good resting point, Mormon station, and then there came houses and sawmills and a school and all kinds of things to support just this little trading post. And um, what a great little spot. But
Right.
then there was a little hitch in the plan, and the original pioneers, the original Mormon pioneers, were called out um, for a short little Mormon. It was a little scuffle between the Mormons and the U.S. government that lasted about a year.
Okay.
And the town, right? And the town's name was changed to Genoa, which is after it's an Italian name. And so
Right.
it was called, what's it called? The Utah War, or the Utah War with the Mormons and the US government.
Hmm.
There was a little bit of a scuffle for a year, and eventually it all got worked out. There was some not some there was not any major battles, but there was some scuffles, and about 150 people died, some innocent people and some kids, and that was the Mountain Meadow murders. But in the end, and I'll let you guys look that up, because um, that's kind of there's some controversy around all of that and some things that we don't need to get into, but everybody was pardoned except for the people that were involved in that particular scuffle. And so anyway, that's kind of a neat place. I guess there's a big park and monument built around that original trading post that's there. So um,
Awesome.
yes, thank you, Bev. I couldn't remember exactly what was at Hoover Dam, but she says it's an odd astrological touch. The monument is surrounded by a terrazzo floor and a celestial chart, which shows the exact position of key stars on the day the Hoover Dam was dedicated by President Franklin Roosevelt. The star map would assist future civilization of giant flying humans to pinpoint the date as of September 30th, 1935. I think. Yep, that's it. It is. It's
That's
a
pretty
it's a
cool.
strange statue, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Awesome.
Thank you, Bev. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate that. So there's Nevada's full has about 6% Mormons today, but they settled in a couple different places, and so they actually um, also settled in a place called the Las Vegas Mission. And that was just outside of present day Las Vegas. And again, called in to civilize Native Americans. And that mission didn't last very long. They set up near a spring, and that one also has a park. So you can visit the Las Vegas Mission as well, which is still standing too. So they had a big presence
Awesome.
in Nevada, bigger than, you know, a lot of times you think of Mormons and you think of Utah, but they actually had a big presence in Nevada in the early 1850s. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's interesting. I was going to say that. I think of Salt Lake City, I think of Utah, but I definitely would not have thought Nevada. So that's I'm learning, and I think that's awesome.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So then we have, I really want to get into like Las Vegas because everybody knows Las Vegas, right?
Right,
And
right. Yeah.
the things that Las Vegas is famous for. And you've never been. I can't believe you haven't just even taken a
No.
weekend or 3-day weekend to Las Vegas.
Well, it's a little harder for me to take it. I guess I could fly out there 3 days, fly back, But as they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So we'll
So maybe you have been.
we'll have to make maybe. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. Maybe I have been.
Oh,
That's funny.
Yeah, no, actually,
Wow.
I actually never have been to Vegas. I'm not sure why, but I think I always want to go. I keep saying I'm going to take weeks at a time to travel out there because there's so much to see, and that just hasn't happened yet. But someday soon.
There is. And if you stay in Las Vegas, there's so many places just to go within an hour or even 2 hours. There's Red Rock Canyon. There's places where you can see like the Circle of Fire and petroglyphs and the hieroglyphs. And there's a lot more to Las Vegas and Nevada than just gambling and the casinos. And yeah,
Right.
there's just so much more. Or a drive-through wedding. There's
Right.
or you
Right.
or you can get married by Elvis too. There is that if you're not already married. I mean, there's there's so many fun things you can do. My goodness. So Las Vegas itself was founded in 1905, and I didn't realize it was actually that young. It's not that old.
What I
I
was
guess
just thinking, it's not that old. Yeah. I would have thought
yeah,
it had much more of a historical presence and that it had more to it than just 1905. It's
right.
quite interesting.
And maybe it's because of all the characters and the depth of history that it has. So many people maybe have passed through it, or so many notorious people. Maybe that's why I figured it was older than it is. I'm not sure, but yeah. So Las Vegas really became a stop because of the railroad that linked Salt Lake City to Los Angeles, and it became a great stopover. And so I mean, it's really just out in the desert. And if you haven't been there, now in 1905, I have no idea what it really looked like, but when I was reading about what it looked like, I couldn't even picture it, because now it's just full of lights and the Las Vegas Strip and casinos. And so to imagine that it had springs and that it had wells, and it was surrounded by that it had actually had artesian wells. That's what kind of threw me, but that's what I read, that way back when it had artesian wells. And the Las Vegas mission, they built their mission there because there were springs and they had access to water. So
which in that area would have been so critical. Right. I mean, it's such a dry state that I'm sure that's why a lot of the cities built up where they did. They would find the rivers or the springs that would have sustained their, you had to get close to water. So so that would make sense.
Right. So and Las Vegas actually means the meadows in Spanish.
So
just sort of.
So it had to have been a meadowland. It had to have been beautiful. Not that the lights, I'm sure, aren't beautiful, but in its own way, but a beautiful area.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And so, and it's in a valley and surrounded by the Sierra Nevadas, and it's dry and cool and windy most of the time. But yeah, so Las Vegas, how did it get built up? It has, in the 1930s comes the Hoover Dam and the casinos. The Hoover Dam creates irrigation and water for everybody, so it becomes a little more lucrative for some farmers and farming, believe it or not. And then there's they start with, it actually starts with nightclubs, and do you know the name? The name of the first nightclub and the first El Rancho Vegas. That's what it was. A guy from Texas, Mr. Griffith from Texas. That's why it's El Rancho Vegas. What a great idea. And it just builds from there. So
it just kind
of
exploded after that.
Right. It does. It excuse me. I have a grumpy dog. Sorry. Come here. It's live. Sorry.
Somebody's wanting attention.
Yes. So what we were talking about, the El Rancho Vegas, or the El Rancho Vegas. Yes, it was one of the first resorts on the Strip, and it became such a good stop and such a great idea that shortly after, in comes many other hotels, and then because of the Great Depression and legalized gambling, the idea just catches on, and we've got the pair of aces that comes in, or pair of dices, excuse me, that comes in, and this is just a very lucrative time for Las Vegas. And so then we have the Flamingo. I really want to talk about the Flamingo because that was Bugsy Sigal's idea, and sort of the start of the mob and the mafia,
the
right?
Gangsters. Right.
And all the and we have all the local people that are trying to hang on and hold on to what they have invested, and hold on to their casinos and their resorts and what they have. And so Joshua Clayton says Mark Twain described Nevada in his book Roughing It, and he lived there at the time. I'm wondering Roughing It, I think I talked about the book Roughing It, and one of his characters in that book as well, who I'm gonna have to go, I'm just think about that for a second because I did a video about that. I'll have to think about that for a second. Yes,
If I'm remembering correctly
agree.
too, I think, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's not Vegas, but wasn't it one of the cities there in Nevada that Samuel Clemens used his nom de plume of Mark Twain for the first time? He was, I believe, a writer for an independent newspaper. Maybe Virginia City, if I'm remembering right. Virginia City, possibly.
Yeah.
But I know he was writing for an independent newspaper, and he used Mark Twain for the first time while he was out there.
Yes, Virginia Dale. Thank you, Russ. I was trying to remember. I did. Yes, Virginia Dale. Yes, thank you. So many facts going through my head. Yes, thank you, Russ.
Right.
It was Virginia Dale, and it was the book Roughing It. Thank you. I'm trying to remember. Thank you. Yeah. So catching up on comments. Yes. Awesome. Yeah. So we're talking about all the high casino concepts and talking about Bugsy Siegel and how Bugsy Siegel came in and built the Flamingo. And the Flamingo ultimately ended up losing a lot of money. And but what I really wanted to get to was that all the mafia and the mob sort of running around with all these, the high class casinos, and but how they didn't own them. Bugsy Siegel was the only one that had the Flamingo, and I thought, before I did the research, I really thought that those gangs, Bugsy Siegel and those various people, were the owners of the casinos. And really, it was the people that lived in the town. It was the town folk. They were the owners of the casinos. Yeah, I didn't know that. And they were really fighting hard to hang on to the casinos and to hold on to their hotels.
Sure.
And so,
right, their businesses, their livelihood, sure.
Right, but I didn't realize that. I thought it was just mob run, but all except the Flamingo was built by Bugsy Siegel, which, if you haven't been, the Flamingo is actually really it is very old architecture compared to some of the new ones, and it's sort of neat to walk into. They're all very fascinating. They all have amazing architecture and whatnot. But that one being linked to Bugsy, sort of interesting. And yeah, the strip is very eclectic. It's kind of a crazy place to be. But the Flamingo was built in 1946, and it's all pink and very non-mafia like. A flamingo, very, very non-mafia like, if you think about it.
You certainly don't associate flamingos and gangsters. So that's a nice little cover.
You really wouldn't. Yeah, yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and then by the 50s, they were taking over. These guys with dubious backgrounds were taking over the casinos. They were running the good guys out, and so, but nobody cared. People were still coming to visit Las Vegas. It was still, the land of fun and gambling and take your risks. And I think even today, I don't really know who owns what, and does it matter? You just go and have fun, right?
Right. I think the reason that people go is they're not concerned with that. Certainly concerned with just going out there and having some fun, as you say, taking some risks and seeing
Right.
seeing what happens.
Yeah, I totally agree. By 1954, there was over 8 million people visiting just the Strip in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And that's a lot of people vacationing in just Las Vegas. 8 million. That's a lot. And that's a lot of gambling.
That's a lot.
Yeah. That's a crazy
Yeah.
amount. I should have compared it like to Disneyland or something. When did Disneyland open? Do you know?
In the 60s. Yeah,
Okay, so
I think Disney, yeah, in the 60s. It would have been after that.
okay. So
Yeah.
this was still more adult fun, I guess.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and Disney backpack, you would have had the Sammy Davis and Frank Sinatra's and to go be entertained by too. That's as
Wouldn't that
iconic and
have been
classic as you can get.
wonderful to see? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That would have
Yeah.
been
That would
amazing
have
to
been
see them.
right. A once in a lifetime type of opportunity. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. That would have been
I mean,
absolutely.
they still have
Yeah.
stellar performances. Yeah, but I just don't think you can beat that kind of entertainer.
Right.
We just don't have that now. Right.
And I can't think of the headliner. Who? God, I'm gonna show how young. I'm young. I can't think of him. Who sang the he headlined Forever and Ever? He sang the Donkashay song.
Oh, yes, I know exactly who you. Yeah.
Come on, somebody's got to know who.
Yeah, somebody has to know. I know who it is, and I can picture him, and he even acted for a while. But and I'm sure Russ is listening, and he knows. He'll probably chime in. But
nope,
somebody's got to know.
Nope,
yeah.
It wasn't Liberace. That's not right.
No, Liberace was there, but it was dark-headed. He
don't make me sing.
That's terrible. Yeah.
You don't want me to sing it. Wayne Newton. Yes. Yeah. Josh.
That's
love it.
Thank you. Who came? Yeah.
I could not think of that for anything. Wayne Newton was there forever and a day. That would have been pretty cool to see too, I think, just to be able to see it. But yeah, that would have been that would have been awesome to see. Those 8 million people in the 50s were pushing about $200 million into the casinos. And that's a lot, just in the 50s. And I mean, 200 million in the 50s compared to like today, that probably
into the billions.
Yeah, that would be like billions now. That's amazing amount of money.
Right.
I can't even imagine that. I can't believe I couldn't think of Wayne Newton. That's just killing me. Anyway, but so in the 50s, while the Strip is booming, the government is out in the desert not too far away testing atomic bombs, and nobody really cares too much about it. So that's going on just down the road from Vegas.
Right. You distract them. You distract them with entertainment and alcohol, good food at good prices, and gambling, and you can do whatever it is you want out in the desert. Who notices that mushroom cloud? Or who cares? you know.
Right? Yeah. So big
Right,
time
right.
testing in the 50s, out in the desert for,
Absolutely.
yeah, distract the tourists and mushroom clouds out in the desert. Area 51's happening. They're hiding aliens, and nobody knows the better for it.
What a
Oh
perfect
no.
cover.
I know,
What a perfect
right?
cover. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy though? I didn't really know that they were testing atomic bombs out in the desert there,
Mhm.
just not too far from Las Vegas. On a serious note, I
Right,
really
right.
didn't know that. I think that's
Yeah,
absolutely
they
amazing.
did that. Absolutely. They did that because there weren't as many, there may have been millions of people coming through Vegas, but Nevada itself in the area, they had fewer people population, and the area was more deserted, and they had the space to do that. That's why they chose that
Right.
area. Not because they distracted them in Vegas, but because of the logistics of the land, the geography of the
Right.
land.
Yeah,
Right, right.
exactly. Right. And it made
Yeah,
sense
yeah.
because the federal government owns more of Nevada than the public does. Did you know that?
I, I
Yeah,
didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
So, not just Area 51, not just their wherever they're testing atomic bombs, but they have a lot going on out there. So, there's a lot of things we don't know about happening in Nevada. Sort of interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah. So that I thought that was kind of crazy that they own most of the land. And another thing I didn't know was that Howard Hughes made a landing, but he spent time in Las Vegas in 1966. The eccentric
He did.
hero of the American aviation industry. Yeah, he was an
Quite.
interesting
Yes, he
character.
was. That he was quite eccentric. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Quite
right.
brilliant.
So
Mhm.
he stayed at the Desert Inn, and we know how he locked himself up all the time. Um,
Right.
and initially, that's what he did there. And so Howard Hughes, he was sort of an interesting character, but he wanted to he wanted part of his empire, excuse me. He that was one of the rooms that he refused to vacate. So I'm wondering, there was a movie made about Howard Hughes, and I'm wondering if that was part of it, where he was at the Desert Inn.
I
That
don't know. I haven't
um,
seen it,
if
but
that was
yeah,
if that
that's
if that
yeah,
was
that's definitely one
included.
of the big stories. Yeah, there's definitely one of the big stories about him and his quirkiness, his personality, his disorders, his seclusion. It he's quite brilliant and eccentric, all rolled into one.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. He was definitely a different character, and he was also involved with the organized crime there in Las Vegas. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, he's kind of an interesting guy. But in the 1980s, the Rat Pack and the organized crime sort of phased out of Las Vegas. That would be just about the time for me to come around and miss all of that. Darn it, because it's so interesting. I think all of those guys, yeah, Bugsy Siegel, and
Yeah.
most of those guys, and the baby boomers started their entrepreneurship there, and the hotels and the casinos and the resorts started changing a little bit, and the mafia bosses were, chased out, and Las Vegas tried to change its what stays in Vegas, or what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, to more of a family friendly theme for a while, and that didn't last very long though. Do you remember that?
No. Yeah, I do.
They,
Yeah, you don't put Vegas on the top of your list for a family vacation, typically.
right? But they did. They wanted to be
Right.
family friendly for a
Yeah,
while, and
right,
and no, it didn't
right,
last very
right.
long, and they went back to
No,
their what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And I think that, to be honest, that probably works the best
much
for
better.
them. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, no,
I
Las
agree.
Vegas is a lot of fun. It really is, and you can do it. You can do Las Vegas however you want. You can be crazy. You can be mellow. You can go to shows. You can gamble. You can not gamble. You can do Las Vegas however you want to do it. Um, you can have fun, be low key. You can hike all day long. You can see wild horses, wild burros. You can see
Mhm.
missions. You can see all you can see Hoover Dam. You can see the Grand Canyon. Um, Nevada has a lot to offer, so
Right.
I think it's a pretty cool place to go. Las Vegas is the biggest city, of course, and the capital is Carson City, and so yeah, you go see Area 51. You can go to Death Valley. There's a lot of places you can go. You can see part of the California Trail, and um, see part of where the Donner Party even went. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that fun. It would be interesting now to go, maybe not. Yeah, bless their hearts. They sure
Not
had a
fun?
time, didn't they? Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't. When I think of Donner Party, I don't think of fun.
Well, no, I guess I always I say fun, and I look at everything as an adventure more when I
Right,
say fun. But yeah, the Donner Party
right,
wasn't
right,
having much
right.
fun, I don't think.
No, no, no. That's yeah, definitely the one of the things that when you think of Nevada and the Sierra Nevada mountains, um, that you would think of the Donner Party, and it does make you think, what would you do? How would your survival skills or mindset kick in um, enough to do what they said happened to survive? That
Right.
it's just kind of mind blowing. Right, right.
So
If you put
so
yourself in their
Humboldt
shoes,
Pass,
right. Mhm.
or Mary's Pass. It was Mary's Pass or Humboldt Pass. That was one of the last places on the map, before they got completely snowed in, and that was in Nevada, prior to making it to officially to California, but where they had all their trouble. But
Right.
Humboldt Pass is actually in Nevada. Yeah. So you can actually go up there. I wouldn't recommend maybe going in a wagon, but that would be kind of
Or
interesting
in the
to
winter.
go see where they
Right.
went. Yeah. Or in the
Right.
winter. Yeah,
Right.
unless you're
Right.
prepared. Sure.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But I would want to do it. I've been on the Oregon Trail, in a couple different
Mhm.
places, and have been able to see the wagon wheel ruts, and that was
Yeah, you
absolutely
did a video
fascinating,
on that. That
humbling.
was just yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember your
Yeah,
video, that you actual parts of the Oregon Trail, which I think is just amazing. I'd love to be able to see that and just take a few, like walk it just a little bit and imagine what what their driving force behind wanting to move on, wanting to get to someplace to um, to go that trail.
yeah.
It's just amazing.
The connection that you is is really amazing. So that's definitely on my bucket list to make it on the California Trail at some point, and maybe even Humboldt or Mary's Pass. That'd be really cool. I want to do that. I'd do it.
Yeah. No, I
I'd
think
check
that,
it out.
yeah, I think I'd love to go nowadays. Absolutely. I would too. It'd be quite the experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I would do it on either side, Nevada or on the California side. I don't know if you can, I'd have to look, but I don't know if you can go all the way through and get to Donner Pass. That would be even more of an adventure. I'd definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd totally do that. So, I had some interesting facts on Nevada. I was going to see. Joshua says Nevada was one of the 2 states to expand its borders after being admitted to the Union. Can anyone guess the other state? So Nevada was one of 2 states to expand its borders after being admitted to the Union. Can anyone guess the other state? So after, I have to think about that. I don't think I actually know after, because so many of them have gone smaller.
Right.
They've been such, nope, Joshua, what's the answer? We're dying to know. I'll wait for you to tell us. So I do know, I'm watching to see if he's gonna, if somebody knows that they're gonna tell us, because I'm trying to think. Some of them start out as such big territories, and then as soon as they become a state, they're smaller. Like, yeah, Missouri.
Exactly.
Russ says Missouri.
Exactly.
Missouri. Okay. The little tail. Oh. Okay. I'll have to look that up. Missouri.
Missouri. There we
Missouri.
go. That's a good question.
Yeah, that was an excellent question. Maybe the up of Michigan. Not sure. Little tail. Maybe the, I don't know. I do know they didn't want to be part of Arkansas. Well, that's interesting. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, I've been to Arkansas. Yeah, I have been to Arkansas, so I kind of get that.
Okay. I don't know what's wrong with
I like
Arkansas,
Arkansas.
but
I have family. Yeah,
Upper Peninsula.
I have family in Arkansas.
Oh, maybe the Upper Peninsula,
the Upper
Michigan.
Peninsula.
Gotcha. Okay.
The UP.
So I like learning. I definitely like learning something. This is good. I do know that ever since the lower 48 states voted in the election of 1912, the state of Nevada has voted for the winning presidential candidate 96% of the time. So
yeah.
that's
why they look to Nevada.
Sort of an,
yeah.
Yeah, and they just looked to Nevada for our last election, as you probably watched and knew. Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, quite the controversy all the way around.
Right. And so when I was doing some research and looking at the nuclear tests, I had no idea that between 1951 and 1992 that there was just under 1,000 nuclear tests done in Nevada. I thought that was just a crazy number.
Right.
Yeah. To just under 1,000, it's like 958 or 952 or something. I mean, it's just under 1,000 nuclear tests done in Nevada. That's amazing to me. I don't know.
All right, Jordan, are you hearing me or have you lost me? Because I can't hear Mary Grace.
Yeah, I can still hear you, Sue. Mary Grace seems
Yeah,
like
okay.
her audio's cut
All
out again.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right. All right. Well, I think one of the, yeah, I think one of the cool things about Nevada also is they were the first state to ratify the 15th Amendment. And, you know, that knows they couldn't prohibit the right to vote to any color, condition, race. So they were ahead of the game on that situation. Pretty impressive.
Okay. Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we are. Yeah.
Hello. I don't know.
Hey, there we
Internet
go.
or something. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Sorry. I'm back. I'm back. So I was just asking if about the 15th Amendment because Nevada was the first state to ratify the 15th Amendment and wondered if anybody knew what that was and how important it is.
Right. That's pretty coincidental because when we lost you, I just said that they were very progressive in ratifying the 15th Amendment. They were the first one to ratify that, which is
yes,
very amazing. Very yes, yeah.
And it prohibits you, the state or the government, from denying anyone, no matter who you are, the right to vote.
Right.
Which is really important. I think Nevada has shown all along in their history how progressive they are with everything.
Yeah, because that was that was in the 1860s. That was not long after they became a state when they ratified that.
And they became a state in 1864. So yeah, it wasn't long after that. And yeah, I think between the legalized gambling and the leniency on marriage and divorce, and I mean, heck, if you can go there and get married in a drive-through window, come on, that's pretty progressive.
Definitely. Quite definitely.
Yes. Yeah. So I think Nevada is a pretty fun and a pretty interesting state, and there's like so much more to cover about Nevada. But do you have anything, Sue, that you wanted to cover? Anything else you wanted to cover about Nevada?
I think we've covered the snow-covered state pretty well. The battle-born, sage, silver state pretty well tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. There are a lot of things to talk about, but I think we've done pretty good, and definitely has it on my list of places to go.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and do you have any thoughts, like always bet on red, always bet on black when you're gambling? Do you play roulette, anything? Do you guys even gamble in Kentucky?
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't have gambling in Kentucky. We have Belterra, which is in Indiana, not far from us. So we have a lot of people in the area that you know. I have occasionally done that, but I don't have any set rules. I certainly couldn't give anybody any tips. So I look at it like just going in to have a little fun and lose a little money and just have
I have
fun.
no idea how to gamble, so who am I to say? I say always bet on black and bet even. Yeah. I don't know. That's my advice to everybody. Bet on black and bet even.
Why not?
I don't know. Try it. Try it. Try it. Let me know if it works.
When I go to Vegas. Okay, when I go to Vegas, I'll do that. I said I'll definitely. This is for Mary Grace.
Okay,
awesome.
That's the only thing I know is roulette has the best odds, I think, or craps. One of those. One of those has the best odds. Yeah. I don't know, or the best payout. I don't know. I don't gamble,
I don't know either. Yeah. don't either.
I don't know. But Nevada's full of a lot of fun. I do know that much.
Yeah.
And be watching, because I just did 2 videos, one on the Goldfield Pioneers and one on the, I'm so sorry, and one on the on Morgan Wyatt Earp, or Morgan Walter Earp, excuse me.
Yeah.
So those will be coming out here real soon. Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. That Goldfield Pioneer Cemetery was absolutely crazy fun. So those videos will be coming out really soon. Yeah, I'm excited for those.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw the live.
I'm really sorry.
Those are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I'm excited for those. So, okay,
Awesome.
well, I will let you take us out then, Sue.
All right. Well, I'm only going to say we have so many more exciting things with Family Tree Nuts coming up. Mary Grace's videos that she was talking about. I know Russ has some great things that he's working on as well. We're going to be bringing you all kinds of anything that you all want to see or hear. Send us a message. I think we're somewhere around what do we have? 6,000 YouTubers now, subscribers. So that's pretty amazing. That's pretty cool. So we just appreciate everybody out there enjoying doing what we do, and want you to always remember, Family Tree Nuts. Let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.
Yes, thank you.
At Family Tree Nuts, we make professional, historic videos all over the country and currently have videos in 25 states and even a few international. Let's face it, nobody wants to read anymore. As a matter of fact, nobody wants to even watch long videos, which is why I'm going to keep this real quick. Moving into the future, how are we going to educate the public on all the historic treasures that are found in every community? We have found the answer. Short, entertaining, and to-the-point videos with lots of shots and views that are relevant to the subject. These videos are shared on social media and are the fastest and least expensive way to educate the community on the history of your area. We have experience working with historical organizations as well as city or county tourism departments and Chamber of Commerce's to produce these videos for their use. Our clients are provided with copies of any video produced as well as online links to the videos that they can easily add to their websites. Let us document and produce videos of just a few or all the historic sites in your area. You will find our rates extremely affordable and well below the industry standard for media production. We are passionate about preserving and documenting as many historical sites as we can, and we would love to work with you. For more information, contact me directly at russ@familytreenuts.org or my personal phone at 859-314-1976. And remember, Family Tree Nuts, let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.